Relaks.com and listen on.
Don't be afraid to catch fish.
Relax Radio.
Welcome back to Relax Radio. And guess who we got today on the show? That's right. We got my partner, Vicky. Hey, Vicky, what's happening? I'm just messing with you.
Oh my god! You lost me for a second. I was like, wait, who? I was just expecting someone else to come on.
No, I was just kidding with you. We're done with surprises for today. But yes, we are back to our usual show. And we got my girl, Laura. Definitely, and we are going to be here keeping you company all the way.
It's a good thing you got my name correctly this time.
Wow. Terrible. But yeah. It's guess what, Laura? It's a Friday.
I know it is.
Finally. It felt like it felt like I was a slave for some reason, just struggling to survive through that week. I'm telling you, it's that bad. It was that bad. Like when I went to work and when I went with the people I went with, it was just so much stress in dealing with clients, with people.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. In the burning heat.
It's always a hassle when you're making money. I mean, what other reason is there to have a busy week? If it's not making money, then I'm not interested.
I like that positivity. Yes, it's always about the hustle life. That's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, we're all here living, where we're trying to earn, we're trying to live a better life. Maybe not like Beyonce, but something at least close.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong in having her as a role model. I'm just saying.
Yeah, as long as you have the money to spend like Beyonce, okay? As long as you have the money, don't be spending your salary like thinking you're Beyonce, girl.
Oh,
the end of the month,
no.
Yeah.
It's working hard like her and then spending, on important things.
that is the truth right there. And looking at the situation right now in the UK, there's a lot going on. I don't know if you heard the buzz, but there is this new vaccine that is coming out, and it's actually being made in India, and it's approved by the AstraZeneca company.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in partnership. Essentially, what they're doing is they're in partnership. These two vaccine makers are in partnership. So this whole vaccine, it's produced in the SII rather. Okay, so they are the ones producing this vaccine, and they're in partnership with AstraZeneca, and they've released this vaccine under the brand of AstraZeneca. So it's essentially the same vaccine, just made in India.
Yeah. Well, I think the Prime Minister is saying now that he's confident. He's very confident, if I'm to quote him, that there won't be any problems for people who are traveling after they've had the Indian vaccine. And, honestly, I get that there's the Indian wave. It seems like the COVID variants just keep coming in batches. It seems like they all have names. Like it's like, oh, fine, you've done your term. Now it's my turn. I'm going to come out. I'm hoping it doesn't get to Z. Because it seems like they're kind of filling up all the alphabetical letters.
Yeah. It looks like it's getting there. I hope they don't get there, as soon as possible. Let's see how it goes, though. But the way it's going,
Well, now there's a Mexican wave,
Oh, there's a Mexican wave.
Yes.
What?
The UK right now is seeing its own form of a COVID Mexican wave as infections moving from the west of the country to the east. That is what's happening crazy. Now. So
I can hear DJ Khaled in the background saying, another one.
We're done with the is it the Delta variant, then the Indian.
Yes, it is a Delta
now
variant.
There's a Mexican.
So what comes after Delta? Epsilon? E?
Well, if we haven't seen any E, then I guess we're lucky because it's obviously skipped and moved to Mexican, unless it's not following the alphabetical order. But
the way it is going, it doesn't look like it's a great time, right now.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I believe now we're at that point where it's like the common flu. The flu. We get flu shots every year. I don't know if you do, but I definitely do. So there's a lot of people who don't take flu shot. They say, oh no, that's just another way for the government to control you and all these conspiracy theories. But I saw
it does protect you from the cold and stuff.
Yeah. So you take a flu shot every single year. because the flu changes. Also, you have to understand, you need these booster shot, it changes.
Yeah.
So right now I feel like the way the situation is going and the way it's rolling, the virus is, people are taking it for granted now. They're like, oh, it's just a common cold, we just get another, maybe a little bit of sneezing, a little bit of coughing, maybe headache, and we're
Yeah.
out for a week. It's pretty much the same symptoms of the normal cold, the common cold.
Well, I don't know about the virus per se. I don't really know what's happening, but I do know that there are increasing cases because
Yeah,
as at today, the UK has recorded 27,125 new cases of coronavirus
that's right.
and additional 27 deaths in 28 days of a positive test. Now, the numbers they say are rising, so
Oh wow,
it's
yeah.
obviously causing concern. But
Uh-huh.
my concern is with all these different batches of COVID variants coming out, the
Okay.
COVID, waves, the Indian, the Delta, the Mexican. How does the vaccine work? Does it only work for certain kinds of people? Is it? I mean, why do they even have names? What's with the Indian, the Delta, the Mexican? Is it that it only affects these kinds of people? I don't know how that works.
I think what happens is they're trying to label this. I was gonna say sprain, but strain. Yes, this particular strain. They label it. I guess it's because look, in the scientific world, right? They always number it. Now they're just giving it a name, and I feel like they're creating a buzz out of this. I mean, you didn't have to literally call it the Indian variant. You could have just called it some other name. And now it's a little too late though. They called it the Indian variant, and then afterwards they started. The WHO had to step in and be like, okay, listen, Indian variant sounds a little, I mean, a little offensive. So let's just call it the Delta variant. So that's how
Well,
they come in, and they're trying to label it now. Okay, where is it first
yeah.
found? It was found in here. It was found. The first one that we found was in Kent. So it was originally called the Kent variant, and now they, I mean, it took them A, B, C. It took them three different
Hmm.
variants to realize, you know what? It sounds a little offensive calling it the South African, the Brazilian variant, the Kent
Yeah,
variant.
yeah. I think really the major concern is going to be how people are going to react to these kinds of people. I mean, if you're calling it Mexican variants, we have Mexicans. I'd like to think we have Mexicans in the UK.
Yes,
So if you're
true.
calling it Mexican wave, it might stir up some form of racism
That is
and
right.
some racist attacks. Just imagine a Mexican on the streets just being assaulted and say, "Oh, go
That is
back to your
correct.
country. There's this new wave, or you're the cause. People like you, and all of that." I remember when the COVID started, a lot of Chinese, a lot of Asian
Oh,
people
yeah.
were harassed
Oh, yeah. Don't even tell me
all
about
around
that.
the world. Yeah,
I'm not even Chinese, and I got that.
I
That's the
spoke with
worst part of it.
I actually spoke with this guy that lives in France, and he's
Oh,
lived there for 6 years. But
okay.
all of a sudden, COVID started, and then he was in this cafe with his girlfriend, and this French man just starts. This white French man starts shouting, using the F word on him, calling him the
Swearing at
C
him, calling him
word,
also
yeah, all sorts of
C
words,
word.
and saying, "Go back to your country." And it's like, I take this as my country because I've been here a long time now, and I intend to live here. I intend to have a family here. So I think that would just basically be the reason why I would say it would be nice if they didn't label these things with countries or with ethnicities or all of
Ethnicities,
that
yeah, names
stuff.
like this. I mean, you
Yeah,
could call it the Delta A. I mean, like we were saying since the beginning. Why did they call it? It took them three to four different variants to realize. Okay, you know what? Calling it the Indian variant, we were getting a big backlash to the Indian
yeah,
community in UK. So this is. I
yeah,
mean, you never heard. Look, the coronavirus. Where did it originally originate? From China. You never heard people call it the Chinese variant
yeah,
or
yeah.
the Chinese the virus. No, they
Mm-hmm,
call it the COVID
mm-hmm.
virus, COVID-19.
Yeah,
They put a
exactly.
number there. So why did it take them so long? I mean, yeah, when it comes to a naming and all of this, yes, the government did take a really they took a really sloppy move. I'd like to say
Yeah.
it took them really. I
It's
mean,
it's I think that would be the part where I say they need to really have a rethink. They need to really be careful of the way they're labeling these things. And now they're talking about AstraZeneca. We don't know if they've you say they've partnered with this AstraZeneca.
that is right.
Is this going to have a different side effects? Is this going to, impact people differently? What exactly makes it different from other kinds of COVID waves? What makes it different from the Delta variant? What makes it different from the Indian variant? Now that there's a Mexican wave.
Mexican
So
wave, yeah.
yeah, what really are the differences between all these waves? Because in my opinion, if someone comes down with COVID, regardless of what kind of variant, I feel like it's gonna affect them the same way. It's not gonna say, oh, it's gonna affect you because it's the Indian variant, or it's gonna affect you differently because it's the Delta variant.
Yeah, nothing like that.
So I don't know, Nick.
I know it's the way it is going. Yeah, they did take their sweet time properly naming it. Properly naming these viruses, variants, and all that. I mean, they could have just named it. For me, okay, COVID-19,
Yeah.
COVID-20. It's done. They could have just done that. COVID-20, COVID-21,
Yeah.
COVID-22.
It's like
Simple.
even if you're giving it like the ABC, just alphabetical letters, that's fine, but putting ethnic groups or ethnicities
It's
attached
not
to
a good idea.
them, yeah, they should know that it's going to stir a lot of problems. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised, and I hope this doesn't happen, but I won't be surprised if tomorrow we hear stories about Mexicans assaulted or
Yeah, that will
foreigners being
happen.
harassed. I mean, what exactly do you expect when you give them these terms?
Yeah, that's I have nothing to say with that because like you said, if it was an ethnic group that got attacked or hit by it, you'd be like, oh, we're gonna call it the African variant or the Indian variant or whatever variant they'll say, and then you will
Yeah,
see there will be more backlash, and it's like our fault. I mean, hey, it's not our fault. Like this thing started off with a bat. That's all I gotta
yeah.
say.
It just,
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe it could have been handled. Maybe it could have been put under control. Maybe there was a way they would have done it so that it wouldn't spiral
yeah,
the
they
way it
could have found
has.
different ways.
Or maybe they just tried their best and nothing was working at that time. We really don't know unless you're one of the scientists in the lab
Yeah,
working
you're
with
right.
them. We can only speculate. But in the end, it is what it is right now. So everyone we need to just try to move forward and
Yeah, that's
stop
right.
giving it names of ethnic groups, for heaven's sake. Like when I saw that, I'm like, really? I just really pictured this affecting Mexicans or Spanish people.
It will. It
So
will definitely
yeah.
affect them. I mean, if not in the UK, it'll definitely affect them. In other parts of the world,
I
where
mean,
in the
who's
UK,
yeah, go on.
so like you said, if you think about it, even places like the US, where there's a lot of these ethnic groups as well. You'll
Yeah.
get a lot of Mexican people. They will be affected by this because once you start labeling, like you said, once you start labeling it, it'll be a problem. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just the same thing. Like I remember when I saw a bunch of people who were Chinese, and they just walk in, they're minding their business. People
Yeah.
are just, the moment they start coughing or they sneeze a little, people just, it's like you watch the Red Sea part. Literally, the Red Sea is parting. That's how much people want to avoid them, and
Yeah.
it's bad because it's like you're causing a stereotype which it doesn't even need to be there. It's not even a
Yeah.
stereotype. I don't know what you call it, a stigma.
It's like, yeah, it's like who wants to know that their ethnic group is linked to COVID? For all
Yeah,
we know, it started in China, or it started in China, in Wuhan, China.
Wuhan.
It started
Yeah,
from there. We're not putting blame. We're not saying it's their fault.
but we
I
have to
don't.
look at the facts. Yeah,
Yeah, regardless of what anybody says, I don't believe that somebody would intentionally leak a virus, because that has been the theory, the conspiracy theory. But I don't
flat
I don't
earthers
believe,
are talking about
yeah,
this
I
till
don't
this
believe
day.
that. Like, who in their right senses would intentionally leak a virus
Yeah,
that's going to kill millions of people around the world? So nobody wants to have COVID, as aggravating as it is, to be linked to their ethnic groups.
that is
And this
right.
is going to affect a lot of people, because imagine a Spanish person or a Mexican going for a job interview, And as
Yeah.
soon as you see their names or they tell you where they're from originally, it's like, oh, the
Oh,
new wave of whatever. And I know a lot of people won't think that far. And somebody will probably watch and be like, oh, come on, you're taking it too far now. We might think of it like that, but then again, we don't know what people are going to have to endure
that is true. We don't know
from now
until we're
on.
put in that position. We don't really know. Like
Yeah.
it's for every matter like that. So looking at all these things, right now they're saying what they're saying is, if you get the AstraZeneca vaccine, it's good. Okay, you can come to you can come to Europe, you can come to the EU, you can visit. But if you
Yeah.
come with the COVID shield vaccine, well, we are not gonna let you in. That's pretty much what they're trying to say. This is what the EU is saying. It's the same vaccine, just different names. Because it
Well,
was made in India, they were like having this fear now. Oh, it's India, so it's not maybe up to par. And my question is, how can you say that? It's the same vaccine. It's pretty much
yeah.
the same vaccine.
Everyone should just, try to do their quota and try to obey the laws. Because at this point, I think everyone is really getting fed up of discussing COVID related issues. It's like there are countries that are fighting poverty, there are countries that
Yes,
are, their children are starving to death. There are countries that are actually going through serious crisis. COVID has really overstayed its welcome, but it's
yeah, it
it's sad
did.
that it's still here. So
It's still
everyone,
here. It's here to stay. It's not gonna go anywhere.
oh no, Nick, don't say that.
I mean, look. I
I
mean,
just
look.
want to think
We
about it like
literally
that.
had our population 40. Looking at the numbers, okay, 44.8 million people in the UK have already received one dose of the coronavirus. You're telling me it's not here to stay?
Well, I'm saying it's not going to stay forever. It's going to
I
be
like your
here a
positivity.
while. It's going to be honestly, I feel like it's going to be here a while, obviously, but it's going to take a lot of adjusting to go back to a semblance of what our lives used to be. Because I don't believe that it's going to go back to 100% what we used to
That is true.
or how we used to live. But at least
That's right.
it's going to go back to a little bit of what we knew back then
Yeah.
before pre-COVID. Yeah, so I mean, it can't get worse. I don't think it can get any worse, honestly. So
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna jinx that. When you say that it's not gonna get any worse, well,
oh
I
no,
would like to say
no,
I beg to differ, but you
no,
know,
it's gotten as worse as it can get.
yes, that's
It's
let's
already
consider it like
claimed a
that.
lot of lives, so
It has,
nah,
and
it
it's
can't get any
unfortunate.
worse.
That is correct. Yeah, the way it is going, the situation is not getting better. Hopefully, with the number of vaccines that is coming into the UK that's being rolled out right now, we can cover more grounds. And yeah, that's why this is the whole reason why the government pushed back on the vaccine roll, like pushed back on the releasing of the restrictions rather. And
Yeah,
they decided, okay, you know what, July 19th, one more month, 4 weeks, we have more time. At least we will get another quarter of people in the population to get vaccinated. So that will at least raise our chances of fighting this whole virus off.
yeah. I mean, everyone just hope for the best, and we'll get out of this eventually with time.
I don't know
With
about the
time.
flat earthers though and the conspiracy theorists. I don't know about them.
Well,
I
they'll be
mean,
fine.
they'll
They'll
be
be
fine because of the
fine.
people who got the vaccine. So the whole point
Yeah,
of herd immunity is if you get three-quarter of the population vaccinated, the rest who don't get vaccinated, well, you're cutting the root. So essentially,
yeah.
even if that person has the virus, you're not going to get it. And you're not going to pass it on to anyone. So it's just
Yeah,
going to be isolated. So right now, what they're doing is they talk about all these big talk and they say, oh, they blame, these big wigs and they say, oh, it's these big powers. There's this Illuminati and all of these type of talks. But then end of the day, I know you're looking like that, but this is what the conspiracy theorists are talking about. And they say all these things, but then in the end of the day, we realize, oh, it's people like us who do take the vaccine, who are responsible. And, I mean, yes, we look at the risks also of the virus, of the vaccine, all of these things, and we take that into account and we take the virus. But these
yeah.
people, they don't do these, they don't do a lot of educated, how do you say this? Educated choices?
Well, I
It's
think I think everyone is entitled to their opinion. In the end,
That's
you're
true.
entitled to think whatever you want to think. But I would say this though: I believe the vaccine is our best bet
That
of
is right.
getting protected from this virus. So, no matter what any conspiracy theorists might say, It's like sometimes they say one thing and then they do the other. They might be
That's
talking
right.
about the vaccine and be saying all sorts of stuff about it, but they might still be getting the vaccine,
Yeah.
So, but I think the welcome development is that the UK is going to open the borders. I mean, allow people to travel even to amber countries without
Yeah.
having quarantine if you have the 2 doses of the vaccine. I'm getting mine tomorrow.
Oh
So
yay! Finally.
yeah, so yeah, that is honestly going to be a good thing if everyone can get that's if you're still planning to travel, not just if you're planning to travel. You may not be planning to travel, but it's just good to have the 2 doses, get you extra
Better safe than
protection.
sorry. Yeah, it's better safe
Yeah,
than sorry.
definitely,
I mean,
definitely.
what's a little bit of more armor? I mean, why? Well, who would complain? You're wearing the vaccine. You're having one suit of armor. Why not get the whole set, right? And make sure that you're safe. And if worse comes
Yeah.
to worse, I mean, look, I mean, if the vaccine works or not, I mean, yes. Either way, at least in your mind, you made sure that you try to stay protected. You try to keep your loved ones safe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, the
Well, I'd
vaccine
like
is.
to think that the vaccine will work. I mean,
Yeah,
what's
of
the
course.
point of taking the vaccine?
Yeah. No, but then this is the problem, when you don't take back the vaccine, right? When a lot of these people, these I'd like to say flat earthers and conspiracy theorists, they don't take the vaccine. What they're doing is they're actually contributing and making it even worse. And you're gonna ask me, how do they make it even worse? Well, for one, they're not vaccinated, so they can spread the virus. The
Hmm.
other thing is for the people who do get vaccinated, and if they're in total association with them all the time, and they don't take the vaccine, and the other person did, there is a possibility, there is a very likely chance that the virus can mutate. And this is where we got thus these variants.
That sounded like biology 102 there. But I absolutely understand.
I'm sorry, that's the little bit of the med school inside of me
No,
waking
no, no.
up.
I absolutely understand. Everyone we just do what we need to do.
Yeah, and pull through. Definitely, we will definitely pull through all of this and make sure
Yeah.
that we are vaccinated. And yeah, hopefully, Laura, you do get jabbed
I
in a good
will
way,
actually.
not in a hard way, but in a good way. You get your jab and
Oh,
stay
I
safe.
am. I honestly, I'm looking forward to the vaccine, obviously, because it would be nice to, I don't know, maybe travel. Oh, I really don't know. As long as it's a safe place.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it
but
would be great though if you tried to get the jab and then you go there and then they actually jab you in the face. Boom, like a jab. They're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, we pranked you. Well, it's not a real jab; it's the actual jab.
that's not cool. That is so not
Yeah,
cool.
I'm just kidding with you.
No, no. But honestly, I'm not looking forward to the side effects because um, I know some people may not react to the vaccine, but mine
That is true.
was.
Oh, you reacted. Yeah, you told
I
me about
did.
that.
I
You
did.
did
And
mention how the side effects were and how you got tired and weak and it was.
yeah. So I'm just really thinking. First of all, I don't know which vaccine. I'm guessing it's the same one I took the first time, the AstraZeneca.
So take the
But
AstraZeneca again. Yeah, that's
yeah,
safer.
so probably. Although they are saying that people can mix and match vaccines. That's what they're talking about. But I think I'll just stick to chocolates with mix and matching.
Yeah, better.
I'm
I think
just
it's better. Yeah,
yeah.
stick to one flavor. I think.
When we're
Yeah, you
talking
know what?
about the vaccine, yeah, no.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, with that though, we are gonna be taking a real quick break, okay? And we'll definitely be right back. And yeah, taking a look at your time right now, it is 4:58. Good evening.
Again. But now, if you say to a child, if I went up to a child and said, you've had one to forget, God, there'd be an inquest. Me, why did you reject my son? Oh, I haven't rejected your son.
I want to talk about how the generation gap, has how much it's changed, especially when you check the youth nowadays in comparison, to people back in the day.
I'd say when I was younger, it was more disciplined. Not now.
In comparison to now.
Not at all. Not now. The way things are nowadays, the younger generation, you seem that they can't accept the word no. If that makes sense.
They can't accept rejection, essentially, is all you're trying to say.
Yeah, they can't accept the word no. So if you, how did I do? Or you didn't do very well, and they get upset, And when I was a youngster, my father used to say to me, because I used to be sport mad when I was very young, well, I still am sport mad, but like participating in different sports. And if I had a bad game, for example, my dad say to me, "You had one to forget." That's it.
Your dad sounds like a smart guy. I mean, yeah, that's the real fact of the matter. Yeah.
You know, he said to me, "You had one to forget. Get over it," and that was it. So I dust myself down and do it again. But now, if you say to a child, if I went up to a child and said, "You've had one to forget," God, there'd be an inquest. An inquest. I mean, why did you reject my son? Oh, I haven't rejected your son. Or daughter. I've just told them that they need to buck their ideas up.
That's the truth right there. I mean, if you think about it, if you check the generations, like right now in the US as well, I've seen a lot of these things as well. In the UK, you know, you get medals for participation. But what's the point? What are you trying to? Yeah, what's the point? Either you win or you lose. People are so afraid to put that whole notion of losing. You know, when it comes to right now, the generation gap is just crazy. You know how much. A lot has changed. Social media has taken control of our lives, and we don't even realize it anymore. We're crippled because of it.
That's absolutely right, Nick. Because, as you said, you know, nowadays it seems that you get rewarded for failure. You know, for the life of me, Nick, I can't get my head around that. Perhaps I'm just getting old and morbid. I don't know. I just can't get my head around how you could be rewarded for failure. And it gives them something to look at, and it makes them laugh. It makes them laugh. So that's why I do it.
Oh, and it could be a really good pickup line as well. Ladies who ask, "Hey, excuse me, so why are you wearing something so colorful?" I mean, hey, you can always have something up on your sleeve. I mean, got me thinking. You know, you want to stand out. Why do you want to stand out though so much, especially with these kind of shirts when you're riding? There must be a purpose behind it, right?
Well, when you say a purpose, Nick, what I do, I wear the shirts, mainly one because they're nice and bright, so they make me visible, especially if I'm riding on the road.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's very important, right? Because you want cars, yeah.
Very important. And also, like, people see me in like calves, and perhaps I shouldn't be saying this on here, I suppose, but in the bar afterwards.
All right.
And it gives them something to look at, and it makes them laugh. It makes them laugh. So that's why I do it.
Oh, and it could be a really good pickup line as well. Ladies who ask, "Hey, excuse me, so why are you wearing something so colorful?" I mean, hey, you can always have something up on your sleeve. I mean, you look like a guy who would do.
You know me too well. You know me too well, Nick.
Come and listen on
Don't be afraid to catch fish.
Relaks Radio.
Welcome back to Relaks Radio, RELAKS, where we're trying to relax. And yeah, definitely, you know, it's me and Laura keeping you guys company all the way until 6 p.m. What's happening, Laura? How you been?
Good. Just trying to make some videos, some social media videos off camera and off air.
I saw you were doing something, a little fancy stuff behind the camera. I was like, okay, what's she doing?
Well, I haven't been able to get to it, but you know, a little bit more practice, and we'll get there.
Oh, definitely, we will get there. And yeah, speaking of the things that is going on right now in the UK, you know, where we're trying to keep it real, there is the furlough scheme happening. Yeah. And yeah, they're gonna be right now. A lot of these furlough schemes, which have been protecting a lot of these jobs, millions of jobs in the UK, is due to close at the end of September.
Well, I think the UK economy might just be affected. Not might just be. It is affected with COVID. You know, a lot of businesses. It's really sad, but they've tried their best, I'm guessing, to help business owners and help people kind of, you know, still get something. But now they're saying, you know what, it's over. We're not gonna do that anymore. You can't get money anymore. We can't help
Yeah,
you.
that's right.
Yeah, I just have one question though. If they're ending this furlough scheme,
Okay.
is that to say that the COVID cases are not going to come up again? Because if there's any risk of having another what's it called now, the lockdown,
Yeah.
then what's gonna happen with the
Yeah.
furlough
What is
scheme?
I know. I mean, then they'll have to extend it. I think they have no choice in that regards. They will have to extend the furlough scheme, and yeah, because look, right now, they. I think this is the problem. Boris Johnson is thinking, okay, what we're gonna do? We're gonna make sure this is the end. The end, in a sense, the terminus date. This is our freedom date.
Yeah.
Everyone will have to get back to normal. And yeah, you can't be depending on the government anymore for any pay, any sort of pay. You have to go get up and look for a job. It's essentially what they're trying to tell you to. Don't be a lazy bum is what they're trying to tell you to do. Essentially, if you're trying to put it blunt right there.
Well, I know that this a lot of people, and by a lot I mean 2.4 million
Yeah,
people. Even as at May, that many people, still relied on the scheme for their furlough, or
yeah,
for their income rather. So if they're saying this, a lot of people are going to be heartbroken.
they are.
Yes, it is a way of encouraging people to get back out there and start looking for jobs and all of that. But first of all, it's not going to be easy.
It's not.
It's definitely not going to be easy.
Oh, it's going to
Two,
be a struggle. Yeah,
yeah, I really don't know. I'm just kind of scared how it's going to affect a lot of people, especially like self-employed. I don't know, Nick.
these entrepreneurs
This
and all of
COVID
that. Yeah,
issue,
yeah.
it's like a deep hole that just swallows so
A
many
lot of.
things.
It sounds like that hole in my floor somewhere. Yes,
Uh,
but jokes aside though, many people have been furloughed though. So like you
mhm.
said, the estimates come up to 2.4 million people
Yeah,
are down from furlough, and that is down from a peak of 5.1 million back in January. So that is what the ONS is saying. And yeah, about 30% of our employers had staff on furlough, down from 35 at the end of April. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people, they're trying to get people back to normal because staff
yeah.
members, like I said, it is. I feel like the government, they're. I don't know. I don't really see. They're saying okay, it's training them, but then our national treasury, we do have a lot of money inside of that. I mean, we just recently cut down on the UK aid. What we're doing is we're doing a lot of aid and foreign aid. We're aiding a lot of these countries like in Pakistan, in Syria, the Republic of
Yeah.
Congo. Yeah, Congo, and all
That'd
of
be
these
nice though,
places, right?
condo. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. But so these places, we've cut down on the foreign aid to these countries, and the government is telling us, okay, people should get back to normal. And how can they? I mean, what is going on in their minds? A job is not that easy to find.
It's not. It really isn't. And they're pretty much giving people the duration between now and September. So
Yeah.
it's like if by next month, and we're in July, mind you,
Okay.
so they have less than a month. If I'm not, I mean, they've not fixed
No,
a specific day in September. So let's just
not yet.
assume the 1st of September. So they have less than a month to look for a job.
I'm sweating
Right.
already.
You have to look for a job,
Yeah.
else the government is not going to give you any more money. You're not going to
Oh
get
wow.
any, not even a dime. You have to work for it. But then
Yeah.
again, the government needs to ensure that by taking off this furlough scheme, things are going to get back to normal ASAP. Because there's no
Yeah.
point if you're saying no more furlough scheme, no more money for people, you're not getting a dime from the government. We've
Yeah.
spent a lot of money,
That's
and
right.
the economy is crippling. If you're not going to give the people the benefit of the hopes and the dreams that um, by that time everything's going to be back to normal,
Yeah.
especially with these variants we're hearing,
Yeah.
and these rises in cases, 27,000 people with more infections, and then the deaths, and
Yeah. It's
it's
just crazy. I know.
the
I know.
government just
Like.
needs to decide, like, before they come out and announce certain things. I feel like they need to really think about it critically
Yeah.
before they come out to say this and say that. Because
Yeah.
once you
Because
said it,
look,
you can't
we
really
can.
take it back.
Look, we can get back when we come to country like business sectors, for example. Travel will boom, but not now. It'll not boom now. I mean, yes, if
Yeah.
they open the borders and they said, okay, coronavirus, we beat coronavirus officially, yes, travel will go crazy and they will earn, what they lost in a couple of months, they earned like what they lost in a whole year, they gained it in just a couple of months when they opened and where they introduced this whole green pass. Well, a lot of these travel industries were going crazy already. They're like, oh, we are expecting good numbers,
Yeah.
if not
Yeah.
as much as the pre-pandemic levels, but pretty good numbers. And I'm like, okay, so people, there are people who are eager to go back to travel, to go to their, to that restaurant, to buy junk food. I mean, that's still there, that's still happening. But the
Yeah.
government will have to understand, okay, right now people will need support, as much support as they can get from the government, because right now, if these people don't find jobs, end of the day, if you get evicted from your apartment, there's a lot of people who actually are, in that point where they're actually depending on this furlough to, prevent eviction and all these things. So
Yeah,
what
of
about those
course.
people?
Of course, it's like the UK already has a very high rate of homeless people, in so
I'm
many
a
parts
homeless
of of
person.
of, of, of the country.
I know,
So
I just had to
they
take that, I'm sorry.
like I lived in Chester while I
Yeah.
was studying for my masters, and I wrote one or two stories on homelessness, and I spoke with. I mean, I understand so many people are on the streets there, just Chester alone, right? Much
Yeah,
less
that's
other
terrible.
parts of the country. So if they're trying to take this away, this follow, a lot of people are at the verge of being evicted from their homes and losing so many things. And once a person has lost their home or a family has lost their home, you know that they're definitely going to lose their children, because
That is
no,
true.
the children are not going to be put on the streets. They're going to be taken into foster cares and foster homes, while the parents are going to be left to find a way to get the family back on its feet. So it's going to affect them as a whole and cause a lot of other problems.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know,
that is just terrible. Like, yeah, oh, what's it gonna solve? You're gonna just break up a family, put that kid on to some other house, another person's house, and yeah, it
yeah,
might sound like, oh, he's gonna be okay, but then there, you'll have to understand, children will get alienated. When they go to other people's houses, they will
yeah,
develop these deep problems like mistrust with people. They're gonna have trust issues. They have to think about all this. This will mentally scar a child, in my
yeah.
opinion, because when you think about it, a child is very vulnerable. Their mind is at that very vulnerable state, and for them, to suddenly not see their mom and dad anymore and have to look into other people's houses and be like, oh, these are your
Hmm.
foster parents. Yeah, that's just gonna feel really awkward,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Of course, it's like you when you talk to a few homeless people who tell you their stories, they say,
Yeah,
"Oh, they've not seen their family, their children for years because they
that's
haven't been able to get jobs. They've not been able to get who would employ them." So if this furlough scheme goes according to plan, then good thing for everyone. But if they take it off and anything happens and we just have a back, I don't know what to call it now, if things don't go according to plan,
yeah.
then
Everything goes back to square one.
exactly. And that is the last thing we need now. I know it on a normal day, on the normal circumstances, it's a good thing and it feels good to be a business owner, right?
Yeah,
But this COVID has taught us that business owners right now are in such a bad time,
yeah.
because
That's
just
it's
like you
not the
said,
greatest.
yeah, just like you said, for tourists, attractions,
Yeah.
accommodations, Airbnbs, hotels, all of that, they have not made any single money in the during the COVID period.
Yeah, that's true. It's sad.
So
You see a lot of these shops and stores, they're all closed, and it's many of them they've permanently closed shop, and it's
yeah.
it's it's disheartening. It breaks your heart. I don't know. For me, it breaks my heart looking at that, and I understand it's not their fault. It's not like they don't have business. It's just that the government closed the country down, and yeah, they had to stay home. They had no choice. So what about
Hmm.
these people? If you take the furlough scheme away, getting back to the furlough scheme, if you take that away, what about these people? How are they gonna pick themselves up from this?
Yeah.
Like I really don't know how the government plans to handle this particular situation, how they're gonna tackle this.
Well, I mean, if they're saying that by, and I really hope that it's on the 19th of July. They're promising us 19th of July is Freedom
Yeah,
Day.
I mean, let's see. Let's
Yeah,
see.
so
Not my
if
hopes are not high.
honestly, I'm just now that I
I'm
think
trying to be
about it, I'm
real
like,
about
yeah.
it, yeah. Because the government made so many promises now. I'm like, at this point, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they just suddenly said, okay, you know what, we're gonna extend this until December. And then yeah, I did keep I know
What
I don't want that. I hate that. I would never want that.
I
But
really don't want to make it seem like they're to blame
yeah,
because I don't want to think that they're intentionally saying everyone stay at home or we're not going to open everywhere. I just want to believe that they're genuinely thinking about us and putting our interest first. Whatever decision they make is for
yeah,
our best interest. That's the
yeah.
way I want to see it. So if they
Agree.
say oh, we can't open up in July anymore, I'm gonna be heartbroken. I'll probably like,
That's true.
what? But when I'm calmer and sober, then I want to think about what happened and I want to
Yeah.
read up on, maybe interviews that the Prime Minister may want to give to explain to the country what happened again for the second time where you're saying Freedom Day. But let's just hope that everything goes according to plan.
Yeah, let's just hope that that's not something that will happen. I mean, yeah, I really wish that that wouldn't happen. I'm not going to keep my hopes up with this, with the government, with how they're handling things, but they're trying their best. I'm not saying that they're not. They are trying their
Yeah.
best. But look, this is something that you were put in the pan and you didn't even realize it. You're like, oh, okay, we're putting the fire, we don't even know what to do. No, but we don't have reference for this. None of the government doesn't even have if you look at a reference book, I think the only reference we have was back in the plague. That was the only reference we had. That's about it. That's like 100 of years, like hundreds of years ago. So in comparison to now, the way now, right now in this current day and age, we do not expect the pandemic. The
Yeah.
government didn't expect the pandemic. They expected something else. They expected Brexit to happen, and they thought, okay, I mean, Brexit sounds like a good idea back then. Right now, though, it doesn't look like it's a great thing.
I don't know about this whole. It's just really unfortunate because I don't think of, just like you said, no country actually prepares for a situation like this, a situation
Right.
like COVID. It's a virus outbreak. It almost feels like the movies when they say a zombie outbreak. No one ever expects it. It just comes out,
Yeah.
boom, and everyone's running for their lives. So in this
But I gotta
case,
jump there though. The WHO actually is, having protocols with this regard. WHO, the CDC, they actually have a protocol of if a zombie outbreak happens, how are we gonna tackle it? I'm not even joking. I wish I was. The CDC, the Center
oh
for
my
Disease
gosh,
Control, they have a protocol. How are we going to have
zombies!
zombies?
Wow.
They expected that far ahead.
Well, I always thought zombies were fiction. So
Let's
if
see.
you
Let's hope.
guys,
Let's hope it stays fiction.
oh my god, no, I'm not even going to talk about that because it sounds ridiculous. Just like a vampire outbreak.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, no.
No.
But yeah, honestly, no country expects to have a virus outbreak or have to start. It's never easy for the
That's true.
government to be able to handle a lot of things because they have to make decisions, and a lot of people are breathing out their necks, and then their own people are screaming and angry and upset, and so many mixed reactions and mixed emotions. So I'm gonna applaud them for coming this far, to be honest,
Yeah.
compared to a lot of countries that have recorded. So I know we have recorded a lot of deaths,
That
but
is
to be
true.
honest, it's not half as much as countries like Italy,
Yeah. Terrible.
or,
Italy
or,
had it
or
the worst.
Spain, or
Yeah.
yeah. So they really, really, it took a toll on them. So
But then
we've
again,
come this.
I blame their government a little bit because they didn't really take it very serious. They didn't take the virus seriously enough. And then by the time they did, well, it's too late. So,
America didn't take at the reign of Donald Trump. They didn't take it
oh,
seriously either. He didn't even wear a mask as the
yeah,
president.
that was just
So
terrible. Terrible
yeah.
leadership. But I guess, that's just how it is. That's just how the situation becomes. You can't really expect much when, I mean, if your leader is not that great, obviously the people will follow suit. and they will be like, okay, if he doesn't do it, why should we do it? He's the greatest authority in the country, X, Y, and Z. I mean, Donald Trump, we can say so much things about that guy. I mean,
Um,
he should have just stuck to movies.
well, that's where I'll actually disagree because I don't think I get it. One person is a president, but he does not make up the whole country. He can't make decisions for the whole country by himself. That's why he's got advisors. That's why he's
Yeah,
got people around him to advise him when he's trying to make a stupid mistake. There are people, there should be people to call him in order and say,
yeah,
bruv, this is not how it's done. Or if you do this, then these are the consequences. We're gonna
yeah,
have to
that's true.
suffer these things. So, in the case of of government not listening,
Yeah, it's
I'm not just gonna blame the president. I'm gonna blame the whole cabinet,
that is
everyone
right.
that works in that office. So that's just it.
I guess that's just definitely it. Looking at that all. I mean, yeah, that's. I really hope our government can figure out a way to combat this. We went on tangents. We went on different sort of tangents here, but yeah, getting back to the point at hand, the furlough scheme, the issues with at hand. Hopefully, the government can find a way to help these people, who are going to be struggling. And yeah, if you know personally, if you have personal friends or people who are going through this, you will know how their struggle are. Their
Yeah, of
struggle is not going to be
course.
easy. It's going to be very difficult, and especially if they are depending on that job. And then the government is paying them 80. I think employers are in a furlough scheme 80%, is it, of their salary, their workable salary they get. So I mean that's how they're surviving now. And then
Yeah.
if the government gets back to normal, yes, and a lot of these people are losing their jobs as well. So it's the way it is going. I really hope the government has a backup plan, because what if we get into another lockdown? Well, how are we going to answer to that?
Well,
I mean,
I
we have to
think
expect the unexpected. We have to expect that
yeah.
this could happen. So how are the government going to handle it then?
I think first of all, the people are getting tired of empty promises. We're getting tired of, oh, you say one thing and then you do the other thing. It's like, oh yeah, we already know. If you say this, oh, he doesn't mean it. It's not going to happen that way. But if they're saying the furlough scheme is going to end in September, then I'd like to think that the Freedom Day is going to go according to plan.
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
I don't believe they're going to make this announcement about the furlough scheme winding down if
Yeah,
we were not ending. So good news, we just might be coming out of this
yeah. I mean, if they're ending up
everything.
the furlough scheme, I hope. I
Exactly.
hope
Then
so.
it means we're actually really coming out of Freedom Day is happening this month on the
This
9th.
is this was
So
the same time. I don't know. I don't want to burst your bubble. I know I'm sounding a little negative here.
come
I know.
on.
Okay, okay. Hear me out, though. Hear me out. I mean, remember the first time we spoke about Freedom Day? The first time Freedom Day was
Right.
supposed to happen. When was it?
Hmm.
It was June, right? June
Yeah.
20th. That was
Hmm.
June 20th, 21st, 20th. Yeah. So that was the day, we realized this is the terminus day. This is the day where, we're going to get back to normalcy. This is where we promised, right? Remember that. I remember that very clearly. I was there. I watched television. I saw the news. I saw all of these things, and they made these promises, and they told us, okay, you're going to open the car. I mean, I'm telling you, the way Boris Johnson articulated it, it was just like I just stood up from my chair and I'm like, yes, I know this guy. This is the guy we need right now. We're going to get back to
Hmm.
normal. And then the Delta variant enters the Delta variant, and you're like,
Uh,
okay. And now we have another variant again,
it,
just
I
as
don't,
we
I
are
don't
about to
even,
lift the
yeah.
lockdown.
I don't even think it didn't start with the Delta variant. There was this African variant that came up. Was it the South African variant?
It was the South African, but it wasn't making such a big a ripple in comparison to the Delta variant, because the Delta variant just came in and it started spreading and it got crazy. They had to shut down the Greater Manchester area, Blackburn area, all these places, Darwin, all these places they had to just close down, Glasgow. So that happened, and now
Mhm.
just a couple of days later, you bring it up, telling me there's a Mexican one. All right. Now we have a problem. Now I'm like, okay, we are like looking at the way it is. I know you're looking at me and you're thinking, okay, this guy, but it's the truth.
I can tell you're really disappointed with this government. I can tell. I
I,
can
I,
tell you
not only with
said,
the government, not only with the government. I'm just like with the situation. Look, we're having it again. It's a repeat. It's like,
yeah.
okay, it's like, oh, God threw one, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it again. I just want to see how you're gonna react to this again. And I feel like we're coming to that point. It's like a loop.
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean,
I'm
I think on the bright side of things,
yeah,
unlike in 2020 where hospitals were packed and
yeah,
the NHS were like, oh, the hospitals are overcrowded and whatnot. The numbers have really, really reduced.
Yeah, they have.
Although the rising cases now, it just might be spiking up again. Who knows?
It's
So I'd like
spiking
to
up, but
think
it's
that,
not, hospitalizations are lesser though. Like in a
yeah,
way,
yeah,
people are dying are lesser in comparison. I mean, yes, like I spoke about this, and yes, where the number of people right now, just last week, 14 people died in comparison to January. January had a lot of
yeah,
people, and yeah, I mean, one death is still a lot. One death is too many,
yeah,
but still,
definitely.
the numbers
Mhm.
look like it's getting better. It is getting better. We're getting to
So
that point.
yeah, so I'd like to believe that it's still not as bad as it was, and you know how we always say, oh, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. I believe that we have passed our worst. I honestly don't think it can get any worse than this. I
Don't
can't
do
even
that. Don't do
imagine. I
that,
can't
Laura. Don't do
imagine.
that. Don't be
I'm
saying that again and again and again. And then next thing you know, I'll be
no,
crying the
no,
next day when I see the news.
it's not going to get any worse than this. I mean, come on. No, but yeah, I think that's it. We're going to get out of this eventually.
We
Eventually.
definitely will. We definitely will, and we're gonna do it together. And hopefully, by then maybe we can hang out or something. We can properly hang out.
Finally.
Yeah,
I
I
miss my
know.
social life.
I know. I know the feeling. When you're stuck at home all day, every day, and you have no one to look at, but your dog. Well, I
Well,
mean, your
if you
dog
have
gets
a
funny
dog,
at one point. Yeah. I have six of them, and they're my siblings.
oh jeez.
No, I love my siblings, but you know what it is. It's just it does get exhausting, and it does get tiring sometimes, even with your loved ones. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a good test, a good trial for a lot of people, how they can deal with families, how they can deal with their loved ones.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there have been a lot of bad cases as well, like domestic violence increasing. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't forget about that. But yeah, it just goes to show the person that you've living with for all your time. You
Yeah,
know,
of course. Of course. It's like this is where your faith is tested. Where you run away from that one person that annoys you and pisses you off, and then you're stuck with them
for the
for
rest of your life.
years.
That is literally
Literally.
it is until death does us apart. That's
Oh my
literally what's
gosh.
happening. But hey, I really wish that we will get back to normal. We will definitely get back to normal. I feel like it is coming. It is coming. I'm not gonna say it is on the July. I'm not the prime minister to say, okay, it's definitely gonna be the July the 19th, because you're gonna call me a liar. You'd be like, oh, Nick, you told me about this, the other day. You're so confident about it. I mean, yeah.
Well,
So
well, that's words from Boris Johnson's mouth. July
exactly,
19. He's saying it's a very big possibility.
it
So
is.
we just hope that everything works fine and that he keeps his word and
Yes,
doesn't
hopefully.
stretch it till September. Yeah. I just want everyone to have a good Christmas. Last year was the first
Yeah, it
time in my
was.
life
Yeah.
that I have celebrated Christmas without my family,
Oh, that's nice.
and
I know.
just in the house. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. So we all want Christmas, the one time that every single person on the planet, both Christians and non-Christians, come together to actually celebrate.
Yeah.
So
And that is the only time. Yeah, that is the only time. Christmas is the only time. I that
yeah,
is
we don't want
I
history repeating itself.
let's hope now. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope, like, yeah, this time Christmas at least we can celebrate it. And I mean, there will be restrictions. There'll definitely be restrictions. The government will definitely impose some sort of restrictions and tell us, okay, you're
Yeah,
not supposed to do this. At least try to keep it to a minimum. Maybe you can hang with your, you can socialize and all of that. But maybe they'll ask us still to wear these masks or
yeah,
get ourselves vaccinated. So I think, yeah, if you want to have a good Christmas, I think invite only people who are vaccinated at home. I know it sounds very discriminatory, but that's just you being safe, and you want to keep your loved ones safe.
yeah. In this case, it's not. It has nothing to do with discrimination. I mean, if you want to enjoy life the way you want to enjoy it, then get the vaccine. It protects not only you but everyone around you. So simple as that.
I mean, Laura, the poster girl for the vaccine. There you go.
Ooh,
You're
I
getting
should
one.
be the
You're getting yours
ambassador.
tomorrow. Yeah, you're
Oh,
getting yours tomorrow, though. Better
trust me,
make sure
I'm
you
going
don't
to tell
forget.
you. I'll tell you how it feels like on Monday, though.
Send me
I
a
just,
picture of the bruised
oh,
arm. I-
I'm not looking forward to that.
and anyways, though, it is about that time of the day that we, make our way, and it's about time we wrap up the show. But yeah, we'll be here again on Monday. And yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely keep us up to date. Definitely, I'll make sure Lala keeps us up to date on her vaccine endeavors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, my name is Nick.
And I'm Laura.
We are out of here. Nice. That was a nice sign out.